Hello everyone, this is me, Miss Gabe, and for this video, we will talk about the legal basis and benefits of teaching and learning the mother tongue. Welcome to studying your first language as you prepare to become a teacher. This module will inform you the necessary of the mother tongue as a subject and as a language for teaching and learning. At the end of this topic, you will identify the provisions of DepEd Order 74 Series of 2009 and also name the fundamental requirements for a strong mother tongue-based multilingual education. Now let's begin. Have you heard of MTB MLE? It sounds familiar? Yes? Well, it's mother tongue-based multilingual education, and that's our topic for today. What was the first language which you authored when you started to talk? Was it Filipino, Tagalog, English? 'Di ba? Malay natin English. Or is it Bisaya or Cebuano, Hiligaynon, Ilonggo, Ilocano, and etc. For my case, I'm a proud Bisaya. Bisaya kay kung dako. And it's very hard for me to talk in Tagalog because I get used to speaking in Bisaya. Well, the language that you use at home is your first language, which is also called the mother tongue. Kung ano yung unang natutunan nyo sa bahay ninyo na language, yan yung mother tongue ninyo na tinatawag. Kapag sa bahay ninyo ay nagsasalita kayo ng Tagalog, yun yung medium of communication ninyo, then that's your mother tongue. Iba naman sa ibang bata, a different child have different upbringing, so we have different languages that we speak. For my case, I'm Bisaya. So that's my mother tongue. That's why in the different schools, we have, I mean, yung mother tongue depends on a certain place or location. That's true. If dito sa Bisaya, mostly, I'm not generalizing, okay? But mostly, we are Bisaya. Bisaya, meron ding mga Ilonggo. Ganon. Iba naman ang case kapag nasa Manila ka. Most of them are Tagalog. So that's their mother tongue. But here, we use Bisaya. But some schools, like Bisaya Pilot, they use Tagalog because they have Muslim brothers and sisters there. So, hindi sila nakakaintindi ng Bisaya. That's why they choose Tagalog as their mother tongue. As a future teacher, why do you need to learn the use the mother tongue in the lower primary grades in school? Bakit ba importante na may mother tongue sa lower primary grades? And why did the Department of Education require schools to use mother tongue as a subject? Diba, have you wondered why? Well, we will find out. Let's talk about Department Order number 74 series of 2009, which institutionalizes the mother tongue-based multilingual education. Ang reason kung bakit merong mother tongue ngayon sa lower grades is because of the Department Order number 74 series of 2009, and it was declared by Benigno Aquino Jr. May sabi-sabi before na maybe minadali itong implementation ng K to 12. Kasi by the way, mother tongue is belong siya sa K to 12. Okay? Na-implement itong mother tongue nung kapanahunan na na-implement din yung K to 12. Sabi nila, may sabi-sabi na minadali daw na implement yung K to 12 kasi para naman may malagay sa accomplishment ni Benigno Aquino. Well, I don't know. I won't comment on that issue. MTB MLE, or the Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education, is learning communicative competence in more than one language based on the child's mother tongue. MTB MLE have end goals. The overall end goal of this is to produce holistically developed and functionally literate Filipinos. Pero meron siyang dalawang goals talaga, which is to produce lifelong learners and communicative competence. Why lifelong learners? As the name implies, it is learning that is pursued throughout life. Based on Delors' 1999 Four Pillars of Education, for the future, lifelong learning crosses sectors, promoting learning beyond traditional schooling and throughout adult life. Now, why communicative competence? Communicative competence is the other end goal of the mother tongue. To put it simply, it is learners' ability to understand and use language appropriately to communicate in authentic situation. It's about paano gamitin yung ng learners yung nalalaman niya while communicating with others. It's effective communication. Ganon. At saka, dito din sa communicative competence, dapat daw yung teacher, yung how the teacher explain should be aligned to the culture of the child. And also, dapat daw gamitin yung mother tongue ng child kasi kapag ginamit yung mother tongue niya, mas madaling naiintindihan ng bata yung concept. Kapag naintindihan niya yung concept, mas madali siyang makaka-learn ng iba pang language kasi nai-incorporate niya yung concept na yon sa kanyang mother tongue. Ganon. For example, pag nagsabi ang teacher na ang ako ang ginagunita na isa ka bola. Ang English sa bola is, ang English sa bola kay ball. So, mai-incorporate niya na yung bola ay ball sa English. Mas madali niyang malilink yung information. It's because ginamit yung mother tongue as, anong tawag? Meron niya siyang term. Auxiliary. Auxiliary. Ganun. Now, we have two goals that can be achieved. Those two goals, the lifelong learner and communicative competence, can be achieved through cognitive competence, academic competence. Well, cognitive competence talk about the learner's ability for higher order thinking skills and in divergent and flexible thinking. While academic competence talk about the learner's capacity to learn for mastery, paulit-ulit. Mother tongue has a medium of instruction. Mother tongue as a medium of instruction eliminates the problem on language barrier in early grades, and classes has been more interactive. It was stated in the research that when you use mother tongue as a medium of instruction, okay, let me explain. Ano ba yung medium of instruction? Medium of instruction is yung ginagamit mo mismo na pagsasalita sa loob ng classroom. Kanang nagabisaya ka sa sulod sa classroom, nagaistorya ka og Ilonggo sa sulod sa classroom or nagastorya kag Tagalog sa sulod sa classroom. Parehas ani akong ginahimo. Ayan. So, that is my medium of instruction now is English. While kani-kanina lang, I was using medium of instruction as Bisaya. Ganon. Medium of instruction or MOI, that's the one that you use inside the classroom. Here in college, usually our medium of instruction is English, mostly. Except for the Filipino subjects, they use, of course, Filipino. So yun, if you use mother tongue as the medium of instruction daw, it says that it will eliminate problems on language barrier in the early grades. Kasi imagine if you are teaching preschool student, imagine if you are teaching preschool learners and then you are speaking English in front of the class, then ano kayang mangyayari sa kanila? Maybe they'll get culture shock. Why? Kasi sa bahay nila, Bisaya man sila dito. Then pagpasok nila sa classroom, nag-i-speak nga ng English, hindi naman yan nila naiintindihan. So yun, meron kang language barrier. Hindi kayo nagkakaintindihan ng bata. Okay, I'm not generalizing na lahat ng bata hindi nakakaintindi ng English. Kasi sa generation natin ngayon, yung mga bata nag-i-speak na talaga ng English is because of the technology. Pero sa mga baryo-baryo guys, wag niyo i-expect na ganyan yung scenario. Okay lang yan sa mga private schools. Pero kapag doon kayo sa baryo magturo, especially sa mga bukid-bukid, mga deprived and depressed area, i-consider mo talaga yung mother tongue nila. Kasi dyan sila mas hiyang, dyan sila mas nakakaintindi. I've experienced before, dyan sa ETD. Because most of the kids there are speaking in dollars. Okay? And if you didn't know that they speak that way, and then you speak Tagalog to them or explain in Bisaya to them, they will just look at you. And hindi nila naiintindihan yung sinasabi mo. Akala mo, you thought that they're not listening to you, but actually, they just can't grasp what you are saying. So you need to translate it from time to time. Now, I've experienced this language barrier when sa tutorial ko. Kasi, yung tinututuran ko, always speaking English. And she cannot understand Tagalog. Even just for a bit. What's, what's aso teacher? 'Di ba? Bisag iro guys, wa siya kabalo unsang iro. Another one. What's manok? Oh, 'di ba? Kilag manok guys. So 'yun. And the thing is, yung subject niya, most of her subject are Filipino. The mother tongue, the medium of instruction is Filipino. Meron pa talaga siyang subject na mother tongue. Meron din siyang subject na Filipino. Ano pa, may subject pa siya na ARPAN. And all of these subject uses Filipino. Translation yung nagaganap sa amin. So, meron kaming language barrier. It's not that I cannot speak English. Yung language barrier is nasa instruction, sa resources mismo, at saka sa kanya. So, ganun yung nangyayari. Next. Classes has been more interactive. Kasi, just imagine, if the child cannot understand what you are saying, what you're talking in front, will they ask a question from you? Or will they say something about, say opinions about your topic? No. So the classes won't be interactive. In order to survive strong MTB MLE program, there are 10 fundamental requirements needed according to DepEd Order number 74 series of 2009. First is a working orthography for the local language that is acceptable to the majority of the stakeholders and promotes intellectualization of that language. Orthography is the spelling or the grammar. Dapat daw magpili ka ng mother tongue na alam ng lahat or localized siya. Alam nga naman, doon ka sa Muslim area and then your mother tongue that you choose is Bisaya. Hello, hindi yan nila naiintindihan. Some maybe, but most do not. Ang hinahanap natin ay yung majority. Kagaya ng dito sa Bisaya Pilot, the majority is Tagalog, so yun yung mother tongue na ginamit nila. Dito naman sa Miguel Intes Elementary School, dito sa Duldul na school, yung gamit nila is Bisaya. Kasi majority of their stakeholders, the stakeholders are the parents, the students. Majority of the stakeholders are Bisaya. So, ganon. Dapat, magdepende yung pagpili ng mother tongue mo sa majority na language na sinasalita ng isang lugar. Development, production, and distribution of inexpensive instructional materials with special priority to beginning reading and child's literature. Ang tandaan nyo lang dito is that yung instructional materials daw must be cheap and inexpensive. Ganito kasi yung nangyayari sa mother tongue. Bakit hindi siya nai-implement ng maayos? It's because yung instructional materials mismo ay poorly na pagkagawa. Or di kaya inavailable. Walang available na materials for that certain language, for that certain mother tongue. So, ganon. Magdedepende din, dapat din daw yung instructional materials should be inexpensive. The use of learners' first language as medium of instruction from preschool until grade 3. Okay, kapag tinanong kayo kung kailan ginamit yung mother tongue as medium of instruction, nagsimula yan siya from preschool and nag-end sa grade 3. While, As a subject, nagsimula yan siya sa grade 1 until grade 3. Wala pa pong subject yung mga kinder, okay? Pero yung gamit nila na mother tongue, medium of instruction is mother tongue sa preschool. Pero wala pang subject. That's why if you were asked when was the mother tongue used as the medium of instruction, your answer will be preschool until grade 3. But when the question is as a subject, your answer will be from grades 1 to 3. Inclusion of additional languages, Filipino and English, shall be introduced as separate subject. Okay, kahit merong mother tongue, there is still a separate subject for English. Alam nga naman, mother tongue na lang lahat, no? Pero meron pa ring English na subject, okay, sa grades 1 to 3. Next, in secondary level, mga grades 7 to 10, Filipino and English shall be the primary medium of instruction. Learners, language 1 will be utilized as auxiliary medium of instruction. Anong ibig sabihin nito? If you go to higher grades na, pansin nyo yan, nung high school tayo, hindi na kasi high school ang tawagan eh. Yung mga grades 7 to 10 ngayon, yung gamit na is Filipino and English, yung medium of instruction nila. Pero, sabi dito, the teacher can still use the L1. What's the L1? It's the language 1 or yung mother tongue. The teacher can still use mother tongue as an auxiliary medium of instruction. Ibig sabihin, kapag may mga concept na bago sa kanila, pwede mo pa rin i-explain sa mother tongue nila. Other than English, Filipino, or Arabic for Madaris schools, the choice of additional language shall be at the behest of the parents and endorsed by local stakeholders as resources permits. Bakit as resources permits? Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, hindi lahat ng mother tongue merong resources, merong provided na resources. Unless if yung mother tongue is common na siya, like Cebuano, Hiligaynon, Ilocano, Ilonggo, meron ng mga resources for that. Pero other than those languages, dialects, wala pa. Wala pang resources na available. Ganun. The language of instruction shall be the primary language for testing. Kung sa mga examinations din, dapat daw ang ginagamit is still the mother tongue. Next, there must be continuing in-service training with MLE specialist. Ito. Inset. Kailangan, ito talaga yung dapat eh. There should be, okay, the implementation of mother tongue education is good. But the preparation for it is lacking. Honestly speaking, para sa akin, lacking talaga siya. Why? There should be trainings. Hindi lang siya like 1-year training. Hindi enough ang 1-year training. It requires a series of training. Okay? Hindi lang isang taon mo pag-aralan yan kasi isang language yan eh. Mahirap yan siya. That's why yung implementation is not that good. It's my own opinion. So, there must be continuing training for them. Until now, dapat nagtitrain pa rin sila. Tinitrain pa rin nila yung teachers nila for that. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na multilingual education specialist. Yung pinag-aaralan talaga nila yung mga dialects na yan. Next, ensure maximum participation from LGU, parents, and community for the implementation of language and literacy. Yes, hindi naman yan magiging successful ang implementation yan kung walang participation ng mga stakeholders. Pag sinabi kong stakeholders, I am referring to the parents, the community, the students, the administrators, the teachers, and the whole people that is involved in the educational system. Those were the stakeholders. So, ayun lang. Next, the benefits why use the mother tongue. Hindi na bago ang mother tongue, okay? In 1948 to 1954, Dr. Jose V. Aguilar started the mother tongue experiment in the use of Hiligaynon. Until, okay, marami pa yan siyang follow-ups ng mga nangyari dyan. Ginamit niya for grades 2 to 3, yung mother tongue doon sa school, sa particular school. Tapos, meron siyang, nag-render siya ng positive result. Then, until the first language component bridging program, or FLCBP, was put in place, followed by lingua franca education. The largest lingua franca in the Philippines are Tagalog, Hiligaynon, Cebuano, and Ilocano. Dito sa atin, di ba, Cebuano. And Tagalog din. How many languages do you speak? Some of you speak 2, 3, or even more, but nobody speak one language alone. This is how language smart we are as Filipinos. That's true. Kung sa akin, I can speak Bisaya. I can also understand Ilonggo. I can also speak Filipino. And I mean Tagalog. And I can also speak English. See? Maraming languages na pwede kong that I can speak. And ano na lang sa ibang tao, 'di ba? Lalo na yung mga nagle-learn talaga ng mga foreign language. Ganun. So, Filipinos are really smart people when in terms to language. That's why, 'di ba, malakas yung call center dito sa atin kasi language English is our second language dito sa Philippines. And sometimes na nagiging kwan na din siya, parang determinant if matalino ka or hindi. Kapag magaling ka magsalita ng English, parang ang tingin sa ng tao is ang talino mo. Pero kapag bulol-bulol yung pagsalita mo ng English, my God, ilulook down ka kaagad nila. Parang na-judge na talaga yung pagkatao mo. Which shouldn't be the case. So, yan. Again, the benefits. Ano ba yung benefits sa language? Education begins with the use of the first language of the learners, a language that they understand. Ayan. So, yung education natin ngayon, nag-i-start na siya na gamitin yung language na kung ano talaga yung naiintindihan ng bata. Next, yung macro skill ay nade-develop. Ano ba yung mga macro skill? Yung speaking, listening, reading, writing, ganun, yun yung mga macro skills, nade-develop din siya. Children will have a good language bridge. Ayun nga, wala nang barrier. And the first language will provide strong yan siya, strong educational foundation. Yun kasi yung punto ng mother tongue na meron dapat tayong strong educational foundation. Kasi daw, kapag the child's mind is, dapat kasi, foundation yung elementary foundation yan. Dapat lahat ng tinuturo dyan tama. Hindi yan siya dapat na, kayo ha, di ba nagtuturo, mga BE-Ed students kayo. So, probably or most likely, you will end up an elementary teachers. Napaka-critical. Huwag niyo sabihin na, BE-Ed lang ako or elementary teacher lang ako. Well, alam niyo bang napaka-critical ng function ninyo sa society? Why? Kasi kayo yung nagtuturo ng basic, ng concept sa bata. Huwag yung idahilan na, bata pa yan, pwede pa yung maturuan paglaki niyan. Or, bata pa yan, okay lang yan kahit maling concept ang maturo mo dyan. No. Kasi dapat, we will start right. Una pa lang information na laman ng bata, nagre-retain na yan sa utak niya, so dapat tama na talaga. That's why, yung first language, kapag kasi mother tongue yung ginamit mo, tama talaga yung concept na malalagay sa utak niya. That's why it will provide strong educational foundation. Next, cognitive. L1 or yung mother tongue, language 1, becomes the language of thinking, doing, applying, and creating. Next, children in early years learn beyond the who, what, when, and where. Because they can rationalize. Kasi nga, mas comfortable sila dyan kasi language nila yan. Next, academic. Learners express themselves easily and freely. Wala silang hesitation, wala silang inhibition. Naalala ko noon, yung high school ako, kapag Honestly, I really hate English. Nung kapag English na yung subject namin, ang tahimik na ng classroom. Kasi walang gustong magsalita. Walang gustong walang gustong mag-voice out ng opinion. Bakit? Bakit takot na takot kaming mag-voice out? It's because hindi kami comfortable sa language, sa English language. Okay? Kahit nung high school tayo, hindi naman tayo talagang masyadong confident na magsalita, di ba? So yun, yung iniiwasan dito sa mother tongue is yung ganun, yung inhibition nga na mafe-feel mo, kahit bata ka pa, maka-feel ka na kaagad ng inhibition, dapat hindi ganun. Dapat daw, freely or easily, nasasabi natin yung opinion natin. Participate actively in class. Of course, they can participate actively since they know or they know what they are doing or they they can express themselves. Process instruction easily kasi mas madali nilang intindihan. Automatically perform better than those using second or third language. Parents are most likely to participate in child's learning and teachers can easily scaffold the learning. Next, but not least, this is the last. Learners bring to class. And next, sociocultural. Learners bring to class prior knowledge. Ano yung pagpasok pa lang ng bata, meron na siyang prior knowledge from his or her home. Meron na siyang live experience, yung mga experiences niya sa bahay, language, and culture. Yes, meron ng culture na nadala yung bata sa classroom. Next, lessons incorporate the best of cultural values in arts, music, literature, tradition, and others, and daily experiences of learners are included and developed. Then, lastly, learners preserve their heritage and culture. Ito yung pinaka-importante sa mother tongue. Na-preserve natin yung culture natin. Did you know that there are some languages na hindi na natin nagagamit? Kasi nga, wala na, nalimutan na natin siya. Like, basta may mga words, just can't remember it, pero may mga words na hindi na siya nagagamit sa ngayon or hindi na siya applicable ngayon na generation. So, that's sad truth and reality. And the mother tongue helps us preserve our heritage and culture. And that's the end of our discussion for today. I hope you reached to the end of the video. I hope let's start loving our own mother tongue.